that.
Yeah. We are live. All right. So we are live on, supposedly, we are live on the Facebook page and the YouTube channel, and we'll find out for sure later. But as you can see by our little names at the bottom, I'm Xane Daniel, and I'm the director and I'm the founder of the Higher Self Expo. And then with me is Dr. Naza Nalani. She's going to be one of the speakers, and she's also going to be assisting with the expo as part of the team for this next time around. So super excited about it. Again, that's September 12th and 13th. And it'll be broadcast on these two channels as long as it works. We are kind of testing it out today on both YouTube and Facebook for the first time. So Naz was nice enough to join me so that it wasn't just me staring at it. And then it'll be about 7.5 hours each day. And I've just finalized the last person. So we have 22 total speakers, including the two of us. So I think we've got ourselves a really nice show.
Yes. Hello, everybody. And hello, Xane. Thank you so much for having me with you today. I am so excited for the expo, and I can't wait for all of these amazing speakers and to just learn about all of the different things that people are currently doing and the ideas that people have for the future of our 5D utopia.
All right, so let's use one of the things on this streaming thing. Wow, this is what our topic is for the next one, envisioning our 5D society. So we are helping people transition, of course, because we're going to have speakers who are channels and healers, astrologists that are there to give you group healings, to give you information from the higher dimensions. But we're also going to be bringing in people who are actively working to change our society. And that's going to be a little bit different than the first expo, which interestingly was, I think it was 14 people. And every single one of them, I think maybe only one did not give a group healing. And if you've ever received energy work, it's quite the process and quite the experience, especially when you receive a lot of high vibrational energy work. There's always this recovery period that you have to go through when you receive that much. And it can be a couple of days, and you can feel extra tired. You can feel wide awake when you're trying to sleep. You can have emotional experiences that are unexplained. And so when you receive 14 straight high vibrational energy upgrades, it can be a lot. And we definitely had some people that had to disconnect after a little bit and kind of recover for a little while and that sort of thing. So this time it's going to be really peppered and spread out. So we're going to have those speakers that are going to be delivering that amazing high vibrational energy. But we're also going to be adding those who are not doing group healings and that are telling us more about what it is that we're moving toward. I really wanted to do this because I felt like so much of what we think about in our current 3D society is what's wrong with it. We think about, obviously the COVID experience and the unrest and wars and suppression and abuse and all the horrible things that are going on every single day. And so we often say, I want to run screaming from the third dimensional society and run to the fifth because I can't stand that third dimensional society. But in fact, the path to the fifth dimension is loving the third dimensional society and the third dimensional experience exactly as it is. And so one of the great ways to do that is to get excited about the things that we are currently doing to improve. And we are in the process of moving to that 5D right now. And we're really going to see that when we hear from the different speakers who are boots on the ground making that happen.
Yes, and I am so excited to talk about this topic, but maybe we should rewind a little bit. And for anyone who is unsure or hasn't heard much about the idea of a 5D society, should we take a couple of minutes and just talk through what that vision is?
What that even means, right? Yeah. I'd be happy to give I like to sum it up like this: that currently in our third dimensional society, we are a people that is dominated by one particular emotion, especially, and that is fear, which is the lowest possible vibrational emotion that you can experience, or at least one of the lowest. And when we have a society that's driven by fear, then the decisions that we are making are very selfish in nature. They're very primitive and survival based. If we then instead move into a fifth dimensional society that is dominated by the highest vibrational emotion, which is unconditional love, and especially unconditional love for all, then we move into a place where we're being the opposite of that selfish thing, the opposite of just surviving. We're thriving and we're providing and we're excited to help each other and to see what everybody else is doing. We're not in a situation of competition. We're in a situation of support. So that's the way that I like to sum it up. There's many more ways, but I feel that that one is the most understandable by anyone from any background.
Yes, I love that explanation. And from a scientific perspective, it's interesting to look at evolution through history. And humans specifically have been evolving over time, as have all creatures. But what's so fascinating is evolution has been shown. We're just starting to understand now that it's not linear, actually. Evolution goes through steady periods and then it goes through leaps where there's massive change. And anthropologists are starting to recognize this when we're looking at human fossils and, you know, our ancient ancestors and the changes that they experienced. And the timeline doesn't seem to fit in that linear evolutionary trajectory that we thought was the case for a long time. Right. So now we're starting to understand that historically humans already have been through these massive shifts or changes in our evolution. And the idea with moving from a 3D to a 5D society is that we are currently undergoing another one of these massive leaps in our consciousness, in our DNA, in our capacity to understand the world around us, and in our connection to our emotions. And we're moving to a place of love, as Xane said.
Yes. Excellent. Yay, I'm excited about this and super inspired, and I've been having a great time finding all the speakers for it. So I think everybody's going to love the speaker list. Right now, I think I've only announced 11, so I've got 11 more to go. Plus, we've got a keynote speaker that I'm excited to announce, and so that'll be coming in the coming weeks. If you haven't already subscribed to let's go to the other neat thing we can do here. There we go. If you haven't already subscribed to the Higher Self Expo mailing list, definitely do so. You'll receive all the information about the upcoming speakers. There'll be lots of info about how to get free gifts from the upcoming speakers, because a lot of them are offering things for the audience. So definitely jump on there and get that so that we can get you in the know about it all. And so, speaking about being in the know, why don't we talk a little bit about who the heck is Dr. Naza Nalani?
Oh, thank you. Yeah. So I would love to introduce myself. I am currently living in Vancouver, Canada, and I am so passionate about connecting the brain and our understanding of how the actual structure of the brain, the neurons, the brain cells that exist in our minds, how that is connected to the energy around us and to consciousness on a greater level. So my background is actually in cognitive neuroscience. I completed my master's in behavioral neuroscience and my PhD in cognitive neuroscience. And what was so fascinating to me is the more I learned about the brain through my studies in a very academic sense, the more I realized we just don't know that much about it. We are starting to understand it better and better, but we're still missing a lot of these key pieces about how the brain works and why it works the way it does. And so that's what moved me more into learning about energy and learning about consciousness. And then as I was studying that, I realized how much of an overlap there is actually between the neuroscience research that exists and this idea of energy and consciousness. And so my passion is combining these two.
Beautiful. And so what is your talk going to be about? I know you're going to be doing that during your stint, and we don't have a schedule yet or anything, but tell us a little bit about what your talk is.
Yes, so I'm really excited because I'm going to be sharing predictions. These are just predictions, but ideas that I have about how our brain is going to structurally and physically change as we move into the 5D world. And what we have seen is that the brains of humans actually change and evolve as we change and evolve, and even between generations. So if we look at the brain right now and we were to scan an image of the brain of someone who is in their 70s and compare it to the brain of someone who is around your age or my age or a little bit younger, what we see is that the brain region for the thumbs is actually physically larger in us compared to someone of an older generation. Can you guess why?
Well, yeah, for sure. We're doing a lot. Well, okay. How old of the generation?
So there's a pretty big generation gap in this research.
Right, but is it more recent, or is it like since our way primitive ancestors?
No, recent, today, right
Recent.
now.
Oh,
If
okay.
we
Well,
if
yeah,
we
it's got to be computers. It's got to be keyboards and typing and video games and stuff like that. Yeah.
yeah, this thing,
Right.
and we're just
Phones. Right. Right.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. We're just on here all the time typing and using our thumbs more than any other humans that have ever existed. And this is changing our brain. It's changing the way our brain looks, it's changing the way our brain works. And we're seeing this on a massive global scale. So if something as simple as using our thumbs more often to type on a phone is changing the structure of our brain,
Right.
then how else will our brain change?
Right.
And that's what I'm going to be exploring. And a lot of this will be ideas and questions, but it's so interesting to think about even the physical structural changes that we have experienced as a human. Have you ever seen that evolutionary step-by-step lineage of human evolution from the monkey or the ape, and then it moves and then man slowly is standing taller and taller?
Yes, of course.
So the question is, what's going to happen next? That chart is not done. We're somewhere in the middle of it, right? So what's going to happen next? And there's so many interesting ideas about what will happen.
And, sure. And I can imagine that the people that have awakened themselves or been awakened and they move into a more of a mindset of unconditional love for all as opposed to a fear-based experience, that their brains have to change as well because they're exercising that portion of the brain. So I can't even imagine as more and more people wake up and go, wait a minute, what are we doing to each other and what could we be doing instead, that you're going to see big changes. And so I'm imagining that's what your talk is going to be about.
Yes, exactly. And we are all intricately connected. There's really, really interesting research coming from the field of neuroscience right now that is actually showing that you looking at me right now, if something were to happen, like something were to hurt me, you can empathize with my pain, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the only thing that is stopping you from realizing that pain is yours is the simple barrier of your skin. Mm-hmm. And your skin is sending your brain a message saying, oh, I'm fine. I'm not the one being hurt. If we actually numb your skin, and then you hurt me, you can't tell the difference between my pain and your pain.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
That's amazing.
We are so connected in parts of our minds that allow us to be one. And that is the idea of the 5D society. We are one, and we're coming to realize that. And we're creating a world that reflects that.
Yeah. Amazing. Wow. I'm very excited about your talk, as I'm sure everyone will be as well. And I'm sure everyone will enjoy it because you are a joy. It is
Thank you.
My pleasure to have you on and have you as part of the team. It's amazing.
Thank you so much. I'm just so excited, and it's an honor for me to be part of this.
All right. Okay. Well, I would say we have a successful test and we should probably say goodbye for today and have everybody have a wonderful weekend. And I'll be interviewing more folks as we get closer and closer to kind of introduce them to you, to test out their connection, to make sure it's all going to work. So keep checking back in. It'll pretty much be happening randomly. But one of the nice things about both Facebook and YouTube is you can go back and watch these at any time. So.
Yes, and if anyone is interested in learning more, please head over to my YouTube channel. I have a YouTube channel. Just search Naza Nalani on YouTube. And Xane has a really amazing YouTube channel too, so check him out on there too. And you can connect with us and any of the speakers. We'll be posting information about everybody as we go along.
Absolutely. Yay. Okay. Thanks, Naza.
Thank you, Xane.
Bye now.
Bye, everybody. Love you.
Bye.